to you by Emma Hanna, musician/actress. Whether it be exclusive pictures, fan art, or the latest news, it has it all. You can't be a fan of Emma Hanna without going to this site. So check it out at shyranger.com.
Well, Johnny had a lot of stories about you in the last.
Yeah, I know. I don't even remember those stories anyway. John, I swear to God, I don't even remember those stories. I'm like, Johnny must like, I'm like, are you sure? After the panel, stories with Johnny? Johnny's a real quiet guy on the set. Believe it or not. He would be antagonize the peer pressure. You saw it. He's that type of guy on the set. Just a peer pressure guy. Oh, it'd be funny, man, if you take that quad and you jump that thing, and if you do this, and if you do that, and if you take the car and take off in it, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, Johnny. But I'd do it and get in trouble. No, he was pretty. I told you the only thing I remember was that spotting on the tree. I don't care what he says. He didn't spot me on that. He didn't. But not too many stories. He was a pretty quiet guy, believe it or not, on the set. But I'll make up stories like he makes up stories. But anyway. Because Johnny worked for me. He was at my karate school. I had him work for me. He was one of the, he did the Chinese style. So he was Sifu Johnny at my school. So I had a small school, so he was one of the instructors for me at my business in Saugus that I had. So we worked together, and then afterwards we worked together. So even though I haven't seen Johnny, I think Johnny and me are probably pretty close than anyone, because we text and email, and I always used to stick up for him, because he was like a little brother type of thing. So if someone said something, I always stuck up for him. But and get in trouble too. But yep. Why? I know. It went out. It was going out of style, and it was back in style, and I just cut it. Having long hair you got to go through that whole process. I just signed some, or at least give me that Green Ranger photo to sign, and my hair's all curly. So I go through that stage where my hair's like super nappy curly, just like curly cues, and it just in the Turbo movie, that's how my hair is. I didn't want to go to makeup early. I was just like, I don't care, let my hair go. They're like, frizz it. So mine was like frizzed out and curls and stuff. So it just was really like an upkeep. I wanted straight hair. Yeah, flat iron. Well, I flat iron my hair to get it like this, don't I? Use that flat iron. I'd use that to get my hair like that. You don't like combing your hair either, huh? Long hair's tough, isn't it?
Yes.
It's tough. Every time I comb her hair, she's like, oh, man, that's how I felt. See? I know how you feel. I know your pain. Any other questions? Yeah, we had a lot of footage from the first season, a lot of Japanese footage, but the Green Ranger didn't have that much Japanese footage because the Green Ranger was supposed to be in and out. See, I was hired for Saban. I was hired for like 10 episodes, and my contract was over. So I was thinking, okay, I'll do 10, no problem. But I ended up doing like 200 and almost 300 in the movies, and so the character became popular. So they had to keep shooting American footage for that. But you can tell the American footage from the Japanese footage. The costumes are different. They never make it the same, Why don't you tell them what you like? Tell them what you like. Of what you like. You like music, you like to watch TV. What do you like to do? Sports?
I like to do,
You like to sing? No? Okay.
basketball.
Basketball? Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you like ice shine?
Yes.
No, but I do skydive, though. I do skydive. That guy, I didn't skydive at that time, but Christian, the skydiver who doubled me, he was in Australia. But then I started skydiving in a place called Cal City, and I heard these people talking at the White Ranger skydiving. So I was like, I just got there, I didn't really know, I'm kind of just quiet and stuff, and I don't be like, hey, I'm the White Ranger, so I was real quiet. So I heard, and then they were like, yeah, the White Ranger's here, and then talking kind of to me, but not really saying it was me. So I was thinking I'm thinking, duh, I'm right here. But they were like, yeah. So then they were talking to the skydiving guy. See, because the skydiver went there and said, oh, I'm the White Ranger and all this stuff. And so I went up to him, I tapped him, I said, hey, are you the White Ranger? And he's like, no, I didn't say that. I just said I was a stunt double. But he didn't say that. He said he was the White Ranger. See, because sometimes, even though, if you don't watch the show, it's like, if you don't watch the show, some people come up to me and they're like, hey, I got a question. How do people recognize you with, because you have the mask on and stuff? And I'm like, what? Or they're like, oh, I thought you were a cartoon, or so they don't really follow it sometimes. So those are the people I don't waste time. I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, do you see me now? Do you recognize me? But it was funny because he was just kind of like really just kind of like pumping that up, and he had no clue I was coming to skydive. He had no clue I was there, and he was just like, yeah. See, that's the problem with rumors that people say stuff, because you know that guy that killed those people? He ain't no Power Ranger. You go on CNN and you look at, what's his name that's getting, Skylar Dave something, Skylar, right? He was not a Power Ranger. It says Power Ranger accused for triple homicide murder and all this other stuff. Well, all my friends called me and they're like, hey, did you kill anybody? I'm like, no. And I'll be the first one to blame, though. Johnny made me do it. But then, you know, he was an extra. One day, probably got $40, you know, and then the reason why that came about is because when he went to go see those people, and I don't know why the news never cleared it up. If I was Disney or Saban, I would have cleared that up, because if you look at that TMZ article that I did about my fighting, then you go to Hollywood Access and look at that article, it says, this is what Jason's doing, this is what Amy's doing, and this is what Skylar's doing. Time for his murders. They tied it into my story. It's like, he's not a Power Ranger. They should have cleared that up. And everyone always says that, hey, didn't the Power Ranger kill someone? And they just don't know. But he was an extra, and he went to go buy this boat for like $400 grand. And he was just like, yeah, you know, I'm an actor. And the old ladies and the old man, well, whatever, old kind of, not really, but feel bad for him. But they were like, oh, really? And they're like, yeah, I'm a Power Ranger. And they're like, oh, we heard of that show. We probably have kids that watch it. And that's how they thought we were just banking rich. And that's why they took him on a boat. And then he killed everybody and threw him overboard and signed over the boat to his name to try to get away with it. Then the cops caught him. Well, this hit the mainstream pretty hard. Like Houston was saying that people were calling in saying, I think Tommy was his character and all this other stuff. So I was calling newspapers going, radio shows going, no, man, you guys have no clue. I don't know who Skylar is. So I started thinking maybe it's one of the new seasons or something. Maybe, you know, that's how believable it showed to me. But he was an extra. And it still says Power Ranger. It's stupid. Dumb. You're dumb. Whoever wrote that. Stupid. Put on YouTube. But it is. It's dumb. It needs to clear up. But I'm just saying, because, you know, they tied it into my story. So that was just strange. You know, who wants to be like, where are they at now? Jason David Frank, you know, doing MMA. Johnny Bosch doing this. This guy, triple homicide. Makes us look bad, you know? It's like, geez. So, any other questions? You know who I'm talking about? You seen that guy's interview? How creepy he is, trying to cut his thing off in jail and all that. He gives us a bad name, man. He's just weird. I want to smash him. But anyway. Ooh, tell him about your pets.
Sugar glider.
A sugar glider? What else you got? Tell him all your pets.
A cat, a dog, and that's it.
What's the cat's name?
Ty.
Like Thai, like Muay Thai. What's your dog's name?
Prada.
Prada, because mommy names that Prada. And what is a sugar glider? Tell them what it is. I don't know. You guys know what a sugar glider is? Yeah.
It's like a sugar glider. It's like it glides like this. It glides and it jumps on my mom. It climbed on my back. It's like the claws are freaky, and it eats an apple.
Yeah. And you let it out. One time they let it out not too long ago, and you couldn't find it, huh?
It was in Santa Claus' hat.
It was in Santa Claus's hat sleeping.
Yes. And her name's Angel Delane Croft Frank.
Cross Frank. She names all the names. All right. So we got a sugar glider. We went to go buy the sugar glider. I bought it for her for Christmas, and went to the pet shop. And she showed 2 sugar gliders. You know, the girl was like showing all these little kids were there, you know, like people were like, you know, petting them. So I figured, you know, no problem. But they kind of make these weird noises, you know, the noises they make. They're like, our sugar glider doesn't make any of those noises. Our sugar glider don't bite. She can handle her, and it doesn't make those, you know, those freaky noises. And well, this one, she didn't. So then I said, well, let me see her, you know, boyfriend or whatever, because they were in a cage. Her sugar glider might be pregnant, huh, with a little baby. So, but I saw that boy one. I'm like, hey, and he's like, hey, and I was like, hey, and then he, boom, just bit my finger. So like, I'm traumatized, man. I want to touch that thing. But she's all, her mom and her, they just get all into it. And I'm like, you haven't been bit by one, that's why. But they got sharp little teeth, man. But she's got a good sugar glider. It's like our interesting little pet, you know, climbs up stuff, leaps on things. It's kind of freaky though, because it'll go like this. What?
Okay, I'm gonna say something.
All right.
I got it at. Okay, I forgot again.
You You forgot? Got it at a pet shop or Christmas or?
I got it for Christmas. It was my Christmas present.
Yeah, cool.
My dad almost wrapped it up.
Almost wrapped it up.
What if my dad wrapped a puppy up and when I just wrapped it up, it come out. It was a sugar glider.
What if? All right, sit back. Any other questions? I didn't wrap up a puppy, by the way. No, I said, what if though? If I did.